depths of winter, the Ural Mountains rise in silence. An ancient spine of stone and snow, stretching more than 2,000 kilometers across the heart of Russia.
For centuries, these mountains have marked the boundary between continents. To the west lies Europe. To the east, an immense and unforgiving land. In winter, the Urals reveal their true character. Jagged ridgelines disappear beneath heavy snow, while frozen valleys remain untouched for months at a time. The cold here is not sudden, but enduring, shaping the land slowly, relentlessly. Forests cling to the lower slopes, dark against the pale expanse, surviving where temperatures often fall far below zero. Wind moves freely across exposed peaks, carrying ice crystals through the air like dust. Human presence is minimal. Settlements are sparse, roads few, and silence dominates the landscape. What endures here is geology, time, and climate. The Ural Mountains are not the highest, nor the most dramatic by height alone, but they are monumental in meaning. Beyond these mountains, winter only deepens, and the journey into Siberia truly begins. Beyond the Ural Mountains, the land opens suddenly. Siberia does not rise here, it stretches. The West Siberian plain unfolds as one of the largest flatlands on Earth, extending for thousands of kilometers beneath winter's grip. In this season, rivers, wetlands, and forests vanish beneath a continuous sheet of snow and ice. From above, the landscape appears motionless. But this frozen surface conceals vast river systems and peatlands, locked in place for months at a time. Temperatures remain brutally low, and the cold settles deep into the ground, creating one of the world's most extensive permafrost regions. Trees grow slowly here, scattered and resilient, shaped by wind and limited sunlight. Human settlements are few and distant. Distances feel amplified, measured not in kilometers, but in hours of travel across frozen terrain. Winter reduces this land to its most essential elements: flat horizons, muted light, and silence. The West Siberian plain reveals a defining truth of Siberia. Here, scale is not vertical, but endless, and the journey forward only grows wider, colder, and more remote. Beyond the Ural Mountains, and across the vast West Siberian plain, the land begins to gather itself into movement. Here flows the Ob River Basin, one of the longest river systems on Earth. In winter, the Ob appears frozen and motionless, stretching across the landscape like a pale ribbon of ice. But beneath the surface, the river remains alive, shaping Siberia as it has for thousands of years. This basin drains an immense territory, connecting forests, plains, and distant northern tundra into a single frozen network. In warmer seasons, it becomes a vital artery of transport and life. In winter, it transforms into silence. Snow-covered banks guide the river's course, while dark taiga forests stand watch along its edges. Ice fractures form delicate patterns, recording the constant tension between water and cold. For generations, the Ob has defined settlement, survival, and direction in Siberia. Even frozen, it remains a path, a reminder that movement here never truly stops. The Ob River Basin is not just a river. It is Siberia in motion, paused only by winter. Beyond the Ural Mountains, past the frozen plains and the vast Ob River, Siberia stretches northward toward the Arctic. Here lies the Yamal Peninsula, a land shaped entirely by ice, wind, and permafrost. In winter, Yamal becomes a stark frontier. The ground remains permanently frozen, while Arctic winds sweep unhindered across the open tundra. Snow drifts endlessly, sculpted by storms that can last for days. This is one of the coldest inhabited regions on Earth. Temperatures plunge far below freezing, and survival depends on deep adaptation to the land. Despite the harshness, life persists. Nomadic routes cross the tundra, following ancient paths etched into the snow. Modern industry now stands alongside tradition, small against the vast Arctic scale. On Yamal, nature dictates every movement. Here, winter is not a season, it is the defining force of existence. From the Arctic shores of the Yamal Peninsula, the landscape opens into a vast, frozen plain. This is the Nenets Tundra, a world defined by endurance, movement, and tradition. Here, winter dominates nearly the entire year. The ground remains locked in permafrost, while snow stretches unbroken to the horizon. Wind shapes the land daily, erasing footprints almost as soon as they appear. For centuries, the Nenets people have adapted to this environment. Their lives follow the rhythm of reindeer migration, crossing hundreds of kilometers of frozen tundra each year. There are no permanent roads, only seasonal paths formed by experience and memory. Shelter is temporary, mobility essential. In the Nenets Tundra, survival is not about resisting nature. It is about understanding it. This land closes the gateway to Siberia's north, where life continues in balance with extreme cold. Beyond the open tundra of the Nenets lands, Siberia begins to close in. The flat horizons give way to forest, and the continent turns inward. Krasnoyarsk Krai unfolds as one of the largest regions on Earth. Here, endless taiga stretches beneath snow, forming the greatest continuous forest on the planet. In winter, rivers freeze into silent corridors, threading through dense conifer trees and frozen valleys. Low sunlight filters through the forest canopy, casting long shadows across untouched snow. Wildlife moves quietly, leaving only fleeting tracks behind. Human presence is rare, separated by vast distances and extreme cold. Granite cliffs rise from the frozen ground, revealing the ancient bones of the land. Silence dominates, broken only by wind through the trees. This is the deep interior of Siberia, vast, forested, and enduring, where nature sets the rhythm and winter holds absolute control. From the vast forests of Krasnoyarsk, the land begins to rise. Trees thin out, and Siberia reveals an older, more rugged face. The central Siberian Plateau is one of the continent's most ancient landscapes. Here, winter settles deep into elevated terrain shaped long before modern life. Frozen rivers carve wide valleys through the plateau, exposing layers of rock that record millions of years of geological history. Permafrost lies permanently beneath the surface, locking the ground in time. This region is vast and largely uninhabited. Few roads cross it, and human presence fades quickly into distance. Wind moves freely across open highlands, carrying snow across endless horizons. Silence dominates, broken only by the movement of ice and air. The central Siberian Plateau forms the frozen backbone of Siberia, a high, ancient interior where winter defines the land itself. Beyond the elevated expanse of the central Siberian Plateau, the land breaks apart. Here, Siberia reveals one of its most isolated and dramatic regions, the Putorana Plateau. This vast, volcanic highland is shaped by ancient basalt flows, carved into deep canyons by ice and time. In winter, frozen waterfalls hang suspended from towering cliffs, while hidden lakes disappear beneath snow and ice. Putorana is almost entirely inaccessible. There are no roads, no permanent settlements, and few signs of human presence. For much of the year, this land remains sealed by extreme cold and isolation. Wind moves through narrow valleys, carrying ice mist across the stone walls. Silence dominates this frozen world. Life here survives quietly, adapted to isolation and severe climate. The Putorana Plateau stands as one of Earth's last untouched landscapes, a remote monument to geological power and Siberia's enduring winter. Beyond the cliffs and frozen valleys of the Putorana Plateau, Siberia opens once more into vast forest. This is Evenkia, one of the most remote and least populated regions on Earth. Here, Taiga stretches endlessly beneath deep snow, broken only by narrow rivers locked in ice. In winter, distances expand and isolation becomes absolute. There are few roads. Most communities are connected only by air, their survival shaped by weather and season. Temperatures fall far below freezing, and the forest absorbs sound, creating a profound stillness. Wildlife moves quietly, adapted to cold and scarcity. Human presence is minimal, leaving little mark on the land. Nature dominates every horizon. Evenkia represents Siberia at its most distant, a place defined by space, silence, and extreme winter endurance. From the deep forests of Evenkia, a frozen river begins to guide the landscape. The lower Tunguska River cuts a quiet path through the heart of Siberia. In winter, its vast surface hardens into ice, transforming flowing water into a silent corridor. Snow-covered banks rise on either side, framed by dense taiga that stretches beyond sight. For centuries, this river served as a route for exploration and survival. Today, it lies largely undisturbed, reclaimed by cold and wilderness. Ice mist drifts above the frozen surface, revealing subtle movement beneath stillness. The river continues to shape the land, even when locked in winter. Here, water becomes road, and distance feels infinite. The lower Tunguska marks a deeper passage into Siberia, where winter tightens its grip and the journey presses further east. Beyond the winding course of the lower Tunguska, Siberia reaches its most extreme. This is Yakutia, Coldest. Here, winter dominates nearly the entire year. Temperatures plunge to levels that test the limits of human survival, shaping every aspect of daily life. Cities and villages stand on permanent permafrost, engineered to endure relentless cold. Rivers such as the Lena freeze solid, becoming winter highways across the land. Breath turns to ice in the air. Metal freezes, engines struggle, and routine tasks demand constant adaptation. Yet life continues. Communities persist through experience, resilience, and deep understanding of their environment. Yakutia is not defined by cold alone, but by endurance. It represents the ultimate frontier of human habitation, where winter is not a season, but a way of life. At the edge of the inhabited world, there is Oymyakon. Here, cold is not an event, it is presence. Sound fades. Movement slows. Breath becomes visible. Nothing here asks to be conquered. Everything asks to be understood. Life continues quietly, not in defiance of the cold, but in balance with it. The land offers no comfort, only clarity. In this silence, scale becomes clear. Human, landscape, winter, equal, temporary. This journey across Siberia ends here, not with arrival, but with stillness,